Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams,
where we scream so you don't scream.
We're your host, Alex.
And Stephanie.
And this week, we find a dead body in a neo-Nazi skinhead bar, and it only gets worse in Green Room.
Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and click the bell to be notified when we post new episodes.
Green Room is a 2015 American horror thriller film written and directed by Jeremy Saulnier. Starring Anton Yelchin, Imogen Poots, and Patrick Stewart, the film focuses on a punk band who finds themselves attacked by neo-Nazi skinheads after witnessing a murder at a remote club in the Pacific Northwest. It has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes with a critical consensus that states, Green Room delivers unapologetic genre thrills with uncommon intelligence and powerfully acted elan. It has a 75% audience score.
Pat, Sam, Reese, and Tiger awaken in a cornfield after Tiger fell asleep at the wheel. Surprisingly, no one's upset about this because they're all real chill dudes. And Pat and Sam bike up the street to the roller rink to siphon gas in the parking lot for their van. The group are members of a punk band, the Ain't Rights, which is fitting because this movie ain't right. They are traveling through the Pacific Northwest attempting to tour on very little money.
They travel to meet local radio host Tad, who promised to book them a gig in the area, but it was canceled, and they're upset for having wasted the time traveling. Trying to make it up to them, Tad arranges a show through his cousin Daniel at a neo-Nazi skinhead bar in the woods outside Portland, opening for the Nazi metal band Cowcatcher. Tad says he would come along, but Daniel and his girlfriend are coming to visit, and he needs to clean. Okay, sure, Tad.
Sure, Dan.
They meet up with Daniel, who seems a little hostile and protective of his girlfriend when Reese mentions them going to Tad's. Pat admittedly has a dumb idea to play an anti-racist song to the crowd, which of course rubs them the wrong way, but they pivot to other songs and finish the set. Kind of a badass move, but still very ballsy. Still uncomfortable at the venue, the group wants to load up and get out of there, but Sam's forgotten her phone in the green room.
Pat goes to retrieve it and sees the body of a girl, Emily, who has been stabbed to death by Worm, a member of Cowcatcher, which I feel would be business as usual, but who the fuck knows.
Nothing to see here!
Pat flees from the room and calls the police, but the bar employees Gabe and Big Justin confiscate the band's phone and hold them captive in the green room.
The group panics and feels trapped, but Gabe assures them that this is the only way to keep everyone safe until the police arrive. I don't know how else you can sell hang tight with a dead body in the room, but this ain't it. Outside, Gabe pays a skinhead to stab another to create a cover story for the police, who respond to the call and eventually leave. The bar owner and skinhead leader, Darcy, is called in to assist and decides to kill the band to eliminate witnesses.
Feeling threatened by Big Justin holding them hostage in the room, the band overtakes him with Reese holding him in a headlock. They have him empty his pockets and retrieve a box cutter and his pistol. Darcy comes to the door to negotiate for the pistol as it's not registered, which feels like the least of their worries at the moment.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
The group wants a phone in return, but he refuses, saying if they don't get the gun back, they'll call the police and blame them for the murder.
Pat agrees to hand over the gun without ammo, but as he opens the door, Emily's friend Amber peeks through a vent and sees others in the hallway waiting. She screams it's a trap, and Darcy and his men rush the door, attacking Pat's arm with machetes until he drops the gun, but he manages to close the door. Inside, Big Justin attacks the band, but Reese subdues him and chokes him into unconsciousness.
When Big Justin surprises Reese by awaking again, trying to struggle free, Reese chokes Big Justin again until he's still, and Amber cuts his abdomen with a box cutter to confirm that he is dead, Amber coming in with that double tap.
Searching for a way out, Tiger sees a light coming through the floor and pulls up the floorboards, revealing an underground drug lab, but the only exit is locked from the outside. Seeing no other way out, they arm themselves with improvised weapons and exit the green room into the empty club.
A skinhead, Clark, unleashes an attack dog which mauls Tiger. Amber and Pat are pursued by the dog. Amber is grabbed by the leg, but they realize it's agitated by microphone feedback and drape a mic over the speaker to drive the good boy away. Reese tries to escape through an unlocked window but is hacked to death by a skinhead.
Pat, Amber, and Sam retreat back to the green room. Darcy explains to Daniel that his girlfriend Emily was stabbed by the band and sends him into the club to kill them. When he confronts them, Amber tells Daniel that Worm murdered Emily after discovering Daniel and Emily planned to leave the skinheads. Outside, Darcy searches Daniel's car, finding evidence that could expose them, and realizes Daniel is a traitor. Good for Daniel. You go, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel.
Back inside, Daniel agrees to help them escape and leads the band into the club, where he is shot dead by the bartender. The group kills the bartender, takes his shotgun, and tries to exit the building, but as soon as they're out, they are shot at, and Clark's dog kills Sam. Amber is wounded, and she and Pat end up fleeing back into the green room yet again.
Darcy sends skinheads Jonathan and Kyle to kill Pat and Amber as he leaves with the bodies, planning to stage their deaths to appear as if they were killed trespassing. Pat gives Amber a pep talk, telling her about a time when a friend took on a bunch of ex-Marines during paintball and won, because now is definitely the time to do this. However, it works as intended. Inspired, they mark up their faces and shave Pat's head to blend in.
Upon entering, Pat momentarily convinces the skinheads he's one of them and hops down into the lab to pretend he's chasing Amber and himself. Jonathan follows him into the drug lab where Kyle remains in the green room. Amber ambushes Kyle and cuts his throat with a box cutter. As Pat fights Jonathan, Amber sneaks up behind him and shoots him. Gabe enters the green room to find his companions dead and surrenders to Pat and Amber.
Holding Gabe at gunpoint, the group trek through the woods looking for a way out of the area. When Pat overhears Darcy and his men staging the crime scene, he and Amber go after them. Gabe volunteers to go into the farm and call the police. Excuse me? Why would we trust anyone that helped them do all this terrible stuff to us?
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck.
Pat and Amber kill Clark and another skinhead. Darcy turns away from them and pulls out a revolver from his jacket, but is shot dead by Pat and Amber. The movie ends as Pat and Amber sit on the side of the road waiting for the police to come.
Are you ready to talk about our ratings?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What did you give Plot?
I gave Plot a 2. I found the plot very compelling. This is definitely a movie where subtitles are crucial, so you can read every phrase and draw your own conclusions of what may happen next. However, I feel like it is a little limited by that concept. I don't want an exposition dump, but you do walk away with Amber's background and Darcy's specific timing for the bodies and use of weapons going unanswered, which I personally really wanted to know. How about you?
I gave it a 2 as well. I said the plot of Green Room is relatively simplistic but effective. Personally enjoying movies where our main characters are trapped and need to find escape. I think the plot does a great job ramping up the thrills. However, at a certain point in the story, I wish the characters would just get out of the damn green room instead of constantly going back.
Yeah, it is a little repetitive after a while. It's like that's the only room that they're, able to like hole up in. So then every time they set foot, it's just like, well,
I know.
This is bad. We've lost 2 people.
Right. Yeah, towards the end, I'm like, just all scatter into the woods. Just run.
Yeah.
But they keep getting picked off one by one. I'm like, oh, God.
And then the first time they go out, when they lose Reese and Tiger, I was like, wow, that killed half of the group, essentially. It felt like more people until we lost 2 people. And then I was like, wow, we are working with very slim pickings
4,
now.
I think. Yeah. Until
Yeah.
Daniel comes.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
but he's only there for 5 minutes.
I was like, okay, well, JK, I guess. Never mind. I thought that was kind of a missed opportunity. You could have. I feel like it would have been cool if Daniel got them through, and at the very end he kind of dies, but it's enough for them to escape.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
something.
I'll run a diversion, and then he's like, you two go.
Yeah. I also expected there to be a little bit more conflict with him not believing them, but I guess since he had already planned to leave, he was already oh, well, these people are liars, so.
Yeah, right? I'm like, good for you, Daniel. Get out of here. Please.
Yeah. Please.
Turn a new leaf and go, but...
Don't do this. This is bad.
He's like, I know I'm trying, but then him and Emily just bite it.
Damn.
It was sad. How do you feel about Amber? I just curious about your thoughts of her.
I had a lot of questions about Amber. I was like, so she was part of the Nazi band, I'm assuming, based off of, what all transpired. But, one, she's willing to work with them. But Darcy, holds off on shooting her. He stops them from shooting her. He's like, no, not her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very confused, what they were trying to do moving forward with Amber. Was it just that they didn't want to use bullets to attract attention, or what? He was fine with them shooting at the other kids. So
right, I know. I was like, are we supposed to be sympathetic to this character? But she's hanging around this place, so
yeah,
off the bat, I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about you.
Right. It's kind of gray because, our main characters played at this bar. So, does that mean by association, since they went there, we should treat them in that same manner? But I guess since Amber's band plays there regularly, we should assume that she is more aligned with them. But after what goes down with Worm, she is on their side, I guess.
Right. I really hate to be let's blur the lines of what's right and wrong because, but I just don't know what what the movie. I think the movie wanted us to like her, but I'm like, I don't know if I could trust
The
you,
band
especially
hardly
off the
trusted
bat.
her. Yeah.
Right.
So, like, at one point, like, she gets a box cutter and she's, like, really helping them after, like, they still have, like, you know, some doubts and hesitation whenever, like, she offers to do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's just, I didn't expect her to be one, like, the final girl, kind of, in a sense, with Anton's character.
Right.
Which I found interesting that Imogen Poots, who played her, was also in Fright Night with Anton.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, huh, they're working together again. How fun.
Yeah. Again, Anton was in Thoroughbreds, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was his second to last movie before.
Yeah, I
think
don't
Thoroughbreds
know.
was his last one.
Yeah, Thoroughbreds was his last
But
one.
I think this came out shortly before.
Yeah. He just keeps popping up in movies we're covering.
I
I'm
know,
like,
but
okay.
R.I.P. But yeah, he
Yeah.
was great in this. I liked him a lot.
Oh, his hand, his arm.
Yeah,
I
the
couldn't
arm.
watch it. I couldn't.
When I told Charlie I was watching this again, like we saw it in theaters back in like 2015, he was like, "Yikes!" And I was like, "I don't remember it being that bad. Like, like it's pretty, you know, unremarkable." And then the thing happens with his hand, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I was gonna say this was my pick. I wanted to see this movie when it first came out. I just like one of those things I just haven't. So I'm like, that was a good opportunity.
Oh, this was your first time?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I wanted to
okay.
watch it, which is why I put it on the list. And I didn't expect our main character's arm to be hacked to hell.
Yeah.
And then they duct taped it. I was like, getting that off is gonna suck.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, how are they gonna pull that off without like ripping off like skin and yeah. But I will say though, I think this does actually do better with a home watch compared to in the theater though, because you don't have the subtitles in the theater. And maybe that's why I felt like just kind of meh about it when I first watched it, because I didn't get all of like the little nuances and stuff with what they were saying.
Yeah, because not audio mixing per se, but just especially in the beginning, it's like, kind of quiet, and they're just like talking as if you would just talk with friends. So yeah, definitely put on subtitles because you'll catch a lot more.
Yeah, and everything's said so casually too. Like they all do lead into each other. It's just not like your standard movie where it's just like trying to like show you.
Yeah.
Moving back on to ratings, what did you have for suspense?
I gave it a 2. I wrote, the movie does a great job at raising the stakes and slowly building the danger. As mentioned when I talked about the plot, eventually it all becomes a little too much as the characters begin to get picked off. So it loses some suspense when you realize it's just a matter of when, not really if. So just because they keep going back to the room, I'm like, okay, we're just going to keep doing this on repeat. The suspense is kind of gone now because I know what we're kind of just
We're just
repeating.
doing this. We're just getting rid of all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I had a 3. I think the whole situation was super tense. I've seen it once before, but was still on the edge of my seat over what was going to happen. I like the split between sides as you watch the band work on instinct and survival mode, and Darcy and his men strategically plan each attack. But it's never blatantly spelled out, so you still have little idea as to what will happen next.
Yeah, I almost gave it a 3, but towards the end of it, it wasn't that I was bored. That's not the word I would use, but I'm like, okay, we're back in the green room.
Yeah.
All right, okay, we're back in the green room. So I just, by the end, I'm like, okay, can we kind of just move forward a little bit? Like, I know you're going to die. You're probably going to die. You're not making it. So it could just kind of lost it towards the end, but the first half, but I would even say the first 3 quarters, I was like locked in, but by then I'm like, okay, I'm just glad they're out of the room.
Right. And I mean, Darcy and his men are so vigilant and thinking of like every angle that they could like exit. And like they've clearly done this before, like several
they know
times.
What to do.
So yeah, I don't know. Every time they set foot out of the green room, like it was always so stressful because I was like, they're just waiting for you. So
yeah, they have a plan. They've executed this plan before. They know what to do. So yeah, I could definitely see that.
What did you have for atmosphere?
I give atmosphere a 3. I said dreary, bleak, and somewhat disorienting. Green room setting really enhances the tone and dread in the movie. From the overcast outside to the dirty music venue and titular green room, the atmosphere acts as another character in the film to drive home the dire situation our protagonists are in.
Yeah, agreed. I also gave it a 3. The setting is dark, dingy, and isolated. Not only are our characters working in a green room with no alternative way out, every time they set foot outside, they are quickly attacked and lives are lost. Plus, even if the situation didn't turn violent, the setting is still deeply uncomfortable and nerve-wracking considering the venue.
It's funny. So I'm going to say this. Let me preface this by saying not a neo-Nazi one, but I've been to places just like this, like to see
Really?
bands and stuff. Yeah, like local venues. I'm like, I've been here before. But yeah, it's to your point, dark and dingy the entire movie. Like even when they're outside, it's dreary and everything has like a green kind of
Tint.
tint to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, even when they're in the cornfield and it's like completely sunny outside, it's still like got like an overcast to it too.
Mm-hmm. What did you have for villain?
I said, honestly, one of the most dangerous villains this show has come across, as they are real people who blindly follow Darcy's orders. They lack any sort of sympathy for the plight of the band, who are just witnesses to a dead body, and brutally attack them at every turn. The high level of planning and detail they go to get rid of them implies this has all happened before, and they will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect their operation. He was very bad.
Yeah,
the dogs messed me up too. Like when Tiger gets killed. Like, I mean, they were good boys, but they wanted to do right by Daddy, but the Daddy was a very bad man. Like,
just the dog at the end who just like fuck this and just like
wanders off.
Yeah, I felt so bad for that dog.
There was another unanswered question there too with that. He gives one of them a shot and says that they'll make it another hour, and like he just wants them to die with flesh in their teeth. And I'm like, what did you give them? Like, did the dog get seriously injured? I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I missed that too. If there was anything, maybe I feel like almost a deleted scene may have been cut.
Yeah,
because that didn't make much sense.
I wonder if they gave him a shot of adrenaline or something to keep them, like high energy for this, but
I have no idea.
I don't know. Yeah, it was just strange, but I didn't like the doggies ripping out people's throats. Like, the doggies aren't supposed to be bad people.
No, they're not. The dogs, there's no, what's this phrase? There's no bad dogs, just bad owners.
Yeah, right.
That's definitely the situation.
Exactly. What did you have for villain?
Oh, I 100% agreed. Gave it a 3. I said absolutely terrifying in both brutality and the realization that these people actually exist in the real world. Green Room showcases real life dangers to the extreme. Just being in the same room as the neo-Nazi antagonist is enough to give this category 3, let alone everything that transpires throughout the movie. Like, just being in the same room is enough for, like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like when Tad first pitches it, I'd be like, no thanks. Like, they were going to pack up and go home anyway because, like, they were barely scraping by with enough gas money to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, like, just the wrong choice.
Right. And, like, I appreciate that when they did do it, they played that song. But, like, don't do that. Like,
no.
The money you're getting is not worth this.
Right. Because it was, like, for $350 or something like that. Like, I mean, compared to the venue that they had with Tad, like, where they each got, like, $6. Like, obviously they need the money, but no.
I'd rather just keep siphoning that gas. Like,
yeah. You already did it once, so...
Yeah, I think this category, out of all of them, is where this movie is actually, like, really scary.
Yeah, the villain aspect is just terrifying. Even, like, Gabe, like, he comes in so nice and, like, like, we're just gonna work all this out. We're just gonna wait for the authorities to come. We took your phone and put you in here for your safety. It's gonna be fine. And kind of like very hospitality manager, and
right.
And I'm like, maybe it'll be good, and it's not.
Yeah,
good.
What's kind of fucked up about that? I kind of believe at first. I kind of believed it. I'm like, well, maybe if they just left and like
maybe
not
if
done
they didn't escalate with Justin, it would be fine.
It would be fine. No,
no,
it wouldn't have. But I even was like questioning it. I'm like, if I was in this situation. They're like, yeah, can I just leave? No. I would have been dead immediately. And that's what's so scary about it, because like they were kind of like manipulative at first. Like you could maybe
there's
believe
so many
that.
What ifs too, because at first it feels like are they just pushing the situation and making it worse by like, holding Justin hostage or taunting them and stuff like that. You will almost wonder if they would just let them go, but it was never going to happen that way.
Yeah, no, they were doomed from the beginning as soon as they saw that body.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you give the movie your extra special point?
I did. I liked it a lot better on the second viewing. Again, subtitles really helped. I think it's a great movie. I think Anton's a very good leading guy for this movie. I think it's interesting. It's not something that you usually see. What about you?
Oh yeah, I gave it a point. I enjoyed it. It's one of those movies I don't know if I would rewatch it on a rainy day because it did make me very uncomfortable. I don't like what's happening. I don't like
No.
these people. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I think it was really effective. But so I had to give it a point in terms of just being scary.
Right. Agreed. I wouldn't say that it's a favorite where I'll be rewatching it over and
Mhm.
over again, but I do think let it sit, maybe watch it again in a few years and you pick up more details as you go.
Mhm. Yeah. So after tallying the points, I gave it 11 and you gave it a 12. So close to the 13.
Very close. I didn't know it would be that way. But yeah, that's how it worked out for me.
Yeah, I think 11 for me is appropriate. It did leave me feeling a type of way afterwards. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Just the brutality alone is enough, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And just again, going back to this is a realistic situation. I mean, it's a little outlandish, all the steps that have happened, but you could see this
could happen.
happening. Yeah.
Mm.
It's scary.
It is scary.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful and we'll always appreciate it. If you are watching the YouTube version, you can like and comment on the video and let us know what you'd like us to cover next.
You can find us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.